I think like Space Jam takes place earlier in the timeline.
Three, two, one. Welcome to Poindexter's acquiring property at obscene amounts. I'm sorry, I threw in the extra A, but that's all I could think of. This is PAPAO. I am one of your hosts and master introer and future PAPAO champion, Douglas Wester. I am joined by my friend Jason, also known as Bluebird. Say hi, Jason.
Caw-caw! Caw-caw!
Crack an egg on it.
Crack an egg on it. Caw-caw! My new catchphrase,
And I am
dude.
joined by my less eccentric friend Jay,
Hey,
also known as Jay.
the actual future champ of PAPAO.
The tension builds.
Also, my lip isn't quite working, so I'm gonna be a little bit quieter this episode.
We gave Jay a robotic lip, though, due to with our massive PAPAO budget, but unfortunately it has not
prosthetic.
arrived yet. Yeah. What we do here at PAPAO is we talk about movies and tell jokes, and occasionally actually talk about movies, let's be honest.
I mean, we only occasionally tell funny jokes, at least.
Yeah, so it balances.
Okay.
What we're going to do here today is we're going to talk about Wild Woolly Hare, the Looney Tunes short. Then we're going to go to Only Yesterday. And then we are continuing a theme of Pride Month with another gay movie recommendation. This time it's Moonlight, as recommended by Jason. But before that, with the frequent roster changes on PAPAO and that brief tension that it might be two people, I have decided to list every combination of PAPAO hosts and assign labels and names to these team-ups.
Okay, it'll be like our joint power moves, you know?
Yes. So this lineup, for example, is called PAPAO Omen. That is a reference to Ultra Instinct. This is a very powerful form, but it is not our truest. And then when we have TJ, we are PAPAO Mastered.
Okay, I like it.
Yes. And then the team of Jay, TJ, and Jason is called Team Impossible because it'll never fucking happen.
That's what you think, but it could also be called Team Disaster, because I can only imagine how well that would go.
No, we were doing
Well,
right.
Yeah, like all three of you can do it. Trust me, we'll get to Team Disaster. All right, team of Douglas, Jay, and TJ. I call this Team Bronze Medals. It's no, it's like technically our third most powerful form, but it's definitely below Omen as the original crew, and then definitely below Mastered.
This is already becoming as complicated as the Goku transformations. I can't even keep track.
So are you saying Jason is the least necessary person?
That's probably true.
Group?
I don't know.
Maybe. Then we're gonna go to the double pairings. Douglas and TJ would be Team Weird Shit, seeing as we would try to pack in as much of that as we could without you guys to stop us, including Godzilla and weird ass movies that nobody else gets. Perfect. Then I would say Douglas and Jay is Team Workhorse, seeing as we are the only two that don't miss episodes.
For now.
For now, Jay.
Bum, bum, bum.
Team of Douglas and Bluebird is Team Energy, because I feel like if Jason and I are locked in a voice chat together, it's only going to ramp up exponentially with nobody to rein either of us in.
It just becomes a feedback loop of just pure possible rage, but yeah, just energy.
Rage, passion, love, everything at once.
Well, and the secret ingredients, Special X.
Team of TJ and Jason is called Team Anxiety because I would be a nervous fucking wreck with you guys doing that by yourselves.
You think it'd be that bad? I don't know.
If any single just pairing is most likely to cause a disaster, I would like to think it's you two.
I don't know how to take that.
I don't.
Well, first of all, I know I'm the least necessary member, which is good.
I never said
Second
that.
Of all, it's just a fact. I've accepted it. It's too late.
With our, I mean, really, if without you, we're Team Bronze Medal. That means you would be one of the more powerful, and definitely more powerful than TJ.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. We'll wait until we start getting into these pairs. We'll wait until this starts happening. War. You know, we have to see how the actual evolution.
I'm also not
how
sure.
Lore is deepening.
what the chemistry between Jason and TJ is.
Exactly. That's why I'm so fucking nervous about it.
Yeah, that's fair. There's only one way to find out. Once you fuckers leave.
The team of Jay and Jason, I feel like this pairing would be the most respectable conversation we could ever have in PAPAO. I feel like you guys are very kind to one another and always open, and much less vitriolic than Jason and I.
Jay, have I ever told you how much I love you?
Or Jay? Oh,
look at this.
He's such a good friend.
Yeah, thanks.
Just the thanks.
Alright. I see you as a friend too.
Cool. Glad that's sorted.
Yeah.
Alright. And finally, we have Jay and TJ, or as I call them, Team Hackers. Due to their complete anonymity, I believe this would be the episode where we get charged with a crime. I don't know what.
You think so?
They would do something.
Wait, what?
I don't know. We don't know anything about you guys. We just know you're Jay and TJ.
Okay.
Jason and I at least have put out names. The mystery.
I see. The Team Anonymous, you know.
Yeah,
Wait,
exactly.
why are we more anonymous than you two? I don't
Well,
understand.
it's a callback to that joke when it was just me, you, and TJ. I said I felt like I was doing it with hackers.
Oh.
Callbacks.
I
Callbacks.
forgot about that again.
I wasn't there for that, so
are you
I would
forgetting
not be
the
able to
PAPAO
make that.
lore?
I guess so. I
Did
don't
you
remember
forget
that
about
at all.
This is the Silmarillion of PAPAO right here in my hand.
All of the middle schoolers listening to us right now, and also people from the
Are
medieval
you
era, are very
gaslighting me right
disappointed.
now? Like, this isn't the first time you've messed with me in the intro. I can't help
No,
but think that...
I'm not messing with you.
I can't second his thing. I have no idea.
Oh yeah, it was an episode without you.
Yeah, by definition, I wasn't there. It was Team Bronze medals, not silver medals.
Team Bronze medal, yeah.
Team Bronze medal.
Well, like, if the original pairing is, like, by default silver medal because it's the OG, and then Fold there's gold, that one has to be silver, has to be bronze, and then the other one's impossible, so...
Well, wouldn't silver medal be, or wouldn't the original pairing be you and Jay, though? I think that was the
We never
the OG
recorded
of
an
OGs.
episode with that, though.
Okay. So it's the untapped potential, is what that one is.
One of life's great mysteries.
Wait, what pairing is that? Is the untapped potential?
You and Douglas as just the two pair, because that you guys were the original super OGs.
Yeah.
Before I was tacked on, and then TJ was added on for. Yeah, well then TJ was added on for his constructive input. I was just there.
Jason
TJ actually was
host in the first episode.
Jason, you add to the comedy value. I think you're very important to the.
I'm glad you don't value my critiques, huh? Oh wow!
I think you add a lot to the discussion.
That's
as far as discussions go, you know.
I'm already disappointed.
Yeah, if I had to be genuine here, I think you and I comedically, or at the very least, we bring out the best of each other out of these pairings. You and me, Jason.
We bounce off of each other really well.
Yeah. It's just because we naturally just kind of don't give a shit, but also really care at the same time. We don't give a shit about anything other than the joke.
I don't know
So
if you've ever spoken about me so truly in your life. That's.
I feel like Jason bounces off of everybody pretty well. It makes me wonder what the Jason TJ pairing would be like.
I don't know
I'd be so scared.
I don't know if there's ever been a moment where it was just me and TJ, because anytime I would hang out with them, there was always at least one other person there.
It's a buffer to keep the power within.
Exactly.
Maybe that's the true untapped.
Dude, we have to explore this untapped potential. There's so many different avenues where we could evolve our abilities, you know? Man, who knows?
Jason, can you introduce Wild and Woolly Hare?
I think so. Probably not well, but I can try.
All right. You recommended it. You know what happens when you recommend a movie.
I do, but that doesn't mean I'm happy about it. So, Wild Woolly Hare is a short that was released in 1959. That follows what's his name? I can't even remember his name right now. The Mustache Man, as he comes into town, you know, and just starts wrecking
Yosemite Sam.
That's his name. Mustache Man, Yosemite Sam. Comes in, starts wrecking shit, and Bugs is like, nah. I'm the one that runs this town. and antics ensue. So what did you guys think of it?
I really like this one. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it shows a lot of the interesting quirks of Yosemite Sam working with bugs, working off of bugs, I guess.
It's our first one with outright racist imagery. So there's that.
Uh-huh. Are you sure?
That. They call him an Injun, straight. Ooh.
He dies immediately.
That's even worse. Buy a cowboy.
Buy a cowboy on a rampage. And the only thing that the person says is, man, at least I get to drink his beer.
God. Wild Wild West, baby.
I think Yosemite Sam might be my favorite Looney Tunes villain just because of his characteristics and his little dialogue quirks and that kind of thing. He's such a fun he's such a fun heel, I think, too.
Yeah,
pretty fun to write.
Elmer Fudd's just kind of a dummy.
Yeah.
When Bugs makes fun of him, it almost kind of feels like he's
punching down.
Yeah. But Yosemite Sam is like an angry in universe sort of.
He deserves everything that's coming to him.
Yeah, like a Republican.
But Elmer Fudd is just. Sometimes he's just a peaceful man camping. Sometimes he's a vegetarian hunting for sport.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah.
I know.
And then Marvin the Martian's the only one that can face bugs on an even battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's also Gossamer.
Gossamer and
wait.
the witch.
When has
usually or Taz? Wasn't Taz originally a Bugs villain?
I love Taz. He only has 5 classic Looney Tunes shorts though.
He's the great force of nature that can
he just destroys
bugs. Yeah.
Well, he's also I think the most recent Looney Tune character besides Lola to have ever broken out. Because again,
but Lola broke out hard, dude.
Well, Lola was hated by a lot of people. It's just Lola caused a lot of furries, so it balanced.
She may have been hated by some, but she is far too loved by others.
I feel like most people who hate her Space Jam interpretation love her Looney Tunes show interpretation.
Yeah, I like her in Looney Tunes show. I think she's pretty fun.
Did you see how hot she was in Space Jam, though? I don't know.
I mean, if anyone's hot in that movie, it's Bill Murray.
Okay, fair point.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Does the Martian fight against bugs ever? Is that a thing?
Marvin? We've covered one. Were you not there?
I don't think I was there for that one then.
Maybe that was the one where I said it felt like I was doing it with a couple of hackers.
Probably. The hacker squad.
Yeah.
Why were we called hackers? I forgot the context.
Because you're anonymous names, like J and TJ.
J and TJ, your names are just initials.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just straight up said my full ass, not my full ass name, but frankly, more of my name than either of you two.
Yeah.
Granted, Jay is just straight up TJ's middle name.
Are you half of TJ?
I guess so.
Or is TJ twice of you? Or I don't know.
Who knows?
It's TJ twice of
Their
me.
dynamic's something that can only be explored between them.
That's true. Soon, possibly. But in this short, Wild and Woolly Hare,
we sometimes talk about movies.
It seems like Bugs doesn't have to do much. He's just chilling most of the time.
Does Bugs need to try? He just fucks him up so effortlessly this time around. There's no moment of Bugs not even feigning it to fuck with him. He's just straight up owns his ass every step of the way. It's hilarious, but goddamn Bugs.
Well, it doesn't feel like he's doing anything. It's like divine intervention. So is he a god that controls the world?
Yeah.
Is that...
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Bugs Bunny is a god. He's a chaotic deity.
Have fear. The fear that he wouldn't be able to control the world like he does, but once he realizes he does, he loses that fear and his sense of humanity, which is why I think Space Jam takes place earlier in the timeline.
Wait! I want you to take up.
Okay, no, that doesn't
Wait, what?
track at all. Like these are clearly like way before like Space Jam. Like you
No,
think
no, no,
What's
no.
Opera Doc?
Wait,
happened
what?
to-
You're skipping past what I was thinking. Wait, what are you talking about? Where he ascends to like a higher power?
So we see like he must over time like lose his sense of fear, because he can control space and reality. So anything where he's more fearful for his life must take place earlier in the timeline.
Or
Because Space Jam is one of the most fearful we've ever seen Bugs. Almost out of character, some might say. It actually means that's the earliest in the timeline.
nah, I think you're giving them too much credit. I think they fucked up their continuity. They DC'd it.
Oh no, they didn't DC it. No one DCs it. No one goes full
Well,
DC.
DC does. All
The
the
only
time.
DC can go full DC.
How do you make an engaging Looney Tunes movie? Because
You can't.
because you're like the characters, the whole thing is that they just do whatever they want, right? What's
Well, I
the
think it would have to-
conflict?
It would have to focus on like Porky then, the everyman.
Yeah, you know what? That sounds fun. And Daffy.
Would
Yes.
a Porky movie be fun? I don't know.
Yeah, well, so Porky's a great straight man for Daffy, and Daffy takes enough punishment while still actively having fun. Like, Daffy does not seem invincible like Bugs is, so I think that could actually work.
Do you guys want to write a movie?
There is
Just a real quick one.
there's a couple of really interesting, like more down to earth shorts, like as Porky and Daffy as a detective duo. That they have like this whole good cop bad cop routine, buddy cop sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's real
Not-
fun.
Not to spoil anything, but I've been watching the new Looney Tunes shorts that they put on HBO Max, and the one I'm recommending this week definitely explores that concept, Jay.
Oh, Jay, you
That
hit the
sounds
nail on the
fun.
head.
I'm glad they brought that back. I want to watch some of those new shorts. I haven't
And
yet.
you will by requirement soon.
Yeah. I'm
He's gonna
excited.
lock you down and hold your eyes open like in Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
And force you.
Jason, don't spoil the other.
Wait, oh, you
that one's
recommend?
not-
Oh,
That one's not gay. It's.
oh, yeah. Well, that's a little bit.
I have not seen it, but I'm assuming it's not gay. That
There's-
I will get that one in soon, though.
There is the barest little bit, but I don't know if that would really count. Like, I don't know if it even counts the context of it, you know?
Right.
So,
We got anything else for Wild Woolly Hair?
I liked it.
Yeah,
I
it's
did
a solid
too. I
short.
really enjoyed it. I give it a 7 out of 10.
I'll give it an 8.
Oh. It's very American, and I like that, because I like America.
All right. I will introduce our next movie. Our next film is Only Yesterday, which is a 1991 film directed by Isao Takahata. It is one of the biggest like breaks in animation as an art form, like focusing on being a realistic drama mainly targeted at women, which is unheard of, and I still think might be to this day.
In animation? Like, unheard
Yeah,
of
in animation.
But I thought,
not in live action.
yeah, I was gonna say,
But
I would assume a lot of the animated cartoons also target, like, all of the princess movies and stuff like that.
Those didn't target like adult women going through. Like those were for girls.
So you're saying adult women, not the female
yeah.
demographic.
This is an
Gotcha.
adult drama. Could you imagine
This
a
is
fucking
also-
kid watching this and having a good time?
No, I cannot.
And it's a movie about loneliness, focusing on the main character. Not only loneliness, but also the Isao Takahata's problems with modern day Japanese society, which is his favorite theme for all of his movies except two. The majority are that theme. Which is surprisingly, despite being like in the top, the final like 8, I think this is the first one of those themes we'll be tackling of 2 more. Focuses on the girl Taiko and her journey to the countryside and how she accidentally and also remembers and reminisces about her 5th grade self.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think of Only Yesterday?
So, on this like rewatch, I realized how much it also pulls from this idea of like rejecting the neglect and abuse in your own childhood, because like nothing was like overtly abusive, so it's been hard for her to accept that everything that's happened to her when she was a kid was not her fault. Like, she tries to laugh it off even as an adult. She's like, yeah, I was just a dumb kid back then. When her dad hits her for not wearing shoes outside, when her dad openly like denies her like dream and refuses to let her go into TV. And a lot of it, I think, comes back to her when the grandma starts suggesting that she marries the guy and joins the family. And I think she's like been for so long controlled by the controlled by the preconceived notions of older people. Like, they have some sort of conceived notion about the world, and they control the children into following their notion instead of when they're the kids, right? They assume that their parents are right. I think that's a large part of the movie, in my opinion. That's what I got out of it.
Yeah, and I think that's also a very Japanese structure of like the father or the parent tells the kid what to do, and like they have to do it. That's just part of the culture, and it's a very kind of controlling culture, especially back then, more so.
Mm-hmm. It also, the fractions things. She couldn't visualize why dividing fractions meant anything.
That's the realest fucking scene I've ever seen in my life. Why would you divide a fraction?
I don't know. See, I was the opposite. I was like, yeah, you just flip it and multiply.
It was effortless for me. I'm not saying that, but like that scene fucking had me bust up because I'm like, that's a good point. Why would you divide a fraction?
Mm-hmm. But I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the extra the extra examination on reminiscing over your youth, and also like growing from it, and the changes that she was able to develop throughout the years. And it was it felt to me like a very heartfelt sort of look into someone's life,
Oh yeah. Because I'm assuming you guys watched this dubbed as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Daisy Ridley as adult Tycho has a really like good nostalgic voice whenever she's recounting the past events that I think is such a good glue to hold this together that I don't think this movie could work without it.
Mm-hmm.
She's really good in it, and also does not sound like Daisy Ridley, which surprised me. I didn't know she had range,
Soon you'll be able to see more if she is in other movies. I don't know.
Yeah, dude, Slumdog Millionaire's in this as the main guy.
Who?
So that's cool. Have you not seen Slumdog Millionaire? Dave Patel?
Don't think so.
Oh, well, he's the main guy. He has a very British voice, and not even like
weird.
It's this is Japan, It's just how they sound.
All Japanese people should sound American, all right?
Daisy Ridley sounds like she's trying to hide her accent, while Dev Patel is just hitting it as hard as he can.
I will say the voice acting in this was great, but I think the character writing maybe, and the lip sync, like the way they had to write for the lip syncs probably made it feel a little bit stilted,
Yeah.
But you can look kind of past that, and the performances were great with what they were given, Yeah.
And well, they also have a lot of good, other good voice actors, like Yaiko. Her older sister is voiced by Ashley Eckstein, who's Ahsoka Tano.
Nice.
And Clone Wars, Tara Strong voices.
I heard Tara Strong in there.
Yeah, Tara Strong's probably the most recognizable VA here.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a really good cast. They bring a lot of energy and life to it that I think... I don't know if it's in the Japanese, but to my English-speaking ears, I felt it was really good.
Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I have some issues with how slow this movie is. Like, there's a 14-minute car ride of exposition.
Okay, that's what I was going to bring up. I was going to say, that's the biggest slow part. And then there were a couple other, like, shorter moments that...
The pineapple?
I kind of like the pineapple one, though.
Really?
I like that story of disappointment. And because she wanted to be so excited about it.
She lied about it, too.
She forced herself to be happy. And that just felt, I don't know, maybe that hit me somewhere, but...
A lot of these do hit pretty hard, depending on the childhood.
I think that's
pineapple
why.
was
They had the
pretty
variety
unripe,
of stories.
too. Like, I think they just didn't eat the pineapple at the right time. Or
Oh, no, it was definitely not ripe.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, usually it's best to... I'm gonna fucking sass these animated characters, because they're all bad actors. They should have just sliced the pineapple and then kept it in the fridge for a little bit and then pulled it out.
They don't know anything about pineapples.
They don't know what a pineapple is.
Fools.
That's the first time they've ever seen the fruit.
And they thought it looked cool, because it
dumb.
does. You're dumb.
This is unforgivable. This is Spirited Away all over again.
Because I think one of the big things about a lot of these stories is it really pulls you into your own memory, and that, I think, helps it out a lot. Because, like, literally, that pineapple memory reminded me of a memory I had back when I was camping. We found a mango in a river. Don't worry about it. And we decided to grab it, and it was, like, perfectly ripe, and we sliced into it, and we ate it, and it was so good, and I had never had a mango before. That was the first time I had ever just eaten a mango.
And you, Mangan, had a good time with it.
And I, Mangan, gonna get that good time mango, alright? And, like, for some reason that reminded me of that, but it had the opposite reaction of, like, the disappointment. And that was all of my other reactions to, like, all of the other times I would eat, you know, like, any fruit that I'd never had. Like, a dragon fruit. It doesn't taste that good. Maybe I had it. That wasn't
way too cool of
right.
a name for how okay it is.
It is. And, like, the disappointment there, like, it just brings back these memories that like, really enhance the viewing experience. Maybe not directly because of the film, but the fact that it brings out those memories so vividly, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There was...
I got a lot of them, like, the pineapple scene, that's, like, reminded me of a... I'm not sure of a specific memory, but it definitely felt like something I've done before. It's this one I just chalk up to me being a dude. I did not relate to the period stuff. I
thought that was weird.
What do you mean? I don't think it's weird. Like, it's definitely a part of any woman's development.
No.
Life.
Like, the periods are fine, but I thought the way that the dudes acted about it, I wasn't. I didn't experience.
Some of those kids need to get Me Too'd.
That's probably gonna happen when they get older. I don't know.
Yeah, they did not treat that well. Also, in that baseball game, some of those fifth graders have really dashing hair. Like, that first boy up to bat had just lovely Prince hair. I was like, damn.
Luxurious locks.
Gosh. Yeah. I think there's a lot of it. Like, we see these stories from her when she was in fifth grade play out in real time and see where she comes from. And all she can do is dismiss her feelings, because that's what the people around her did, was dismiss her feelings because she was a kid, right? And she so it's like she carries a lot of that, like, blame that's carried over from her parents. Like, we as the audience see it happen and are like, we understand she wasn't, like, unjustified to feel the way she did, but she feels as a kid she was just being a dumb kid for it.
Well, because that's how she was treated, you know?
That's a lot of what I get from this movie. The, like, bittersweet feelings of memories, like, being made negative, being made to be like, I was at fault because, like, everyone told me I was, you know? I don't know. It's a form of abuse that is, it's hard to talk about because it doesn't feel like abuse, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think, I don't know, some of these, because I don't think it's, like, the parents actively, like, hurting her, even though the mom quickly dismisses, like, her achievement with essays, the mom still remembers that and even brings it up later as, like, a compliment to her. It's just, in that moment, that's not what the mom's concerned about, because whatever the accomplishment is to a kid, I feel like a parent's going to see more of a detriment, and that's what they're going to be worried about. But then other times, like, the dad hitting her, obviously, I'm of the mind, don't hit your kids ever. You're, like, 8 times your kid's size. That's not a fair fight. Once your kid's the same size as you, then you can fight them fair.
Yeah,
Sometimes they
but
deserve it, though. I don't
also,
know.
he just lost his temper at that point, and that's understandable too.
Oh yeah, she
But-
was being a little shit.
Yeah,
Which kids do. That they're kids.
Nothing wrong with little child abuse every once in a while.
I did kind of laugh though when he. Oh, it was relatable to me. The dad just yelling "outside without shoes." My dad has definitely done that. He did not hit me during it, but he has definitely had that just blow up. I'm like, really, dude, chill.
it's weird. It's definitely a big thing in Japanese culture, like the whole keep your shoes outside and have like new inside shoes. It's a very, very Japanese thing. So like, I don't know. Seeing like a parent get that upset over that like small thing, it definitely seems like it was a little bit of an overreaction, just like the feather that broke the camel's back. But I could be wrong. Maybe.
Well, I don't know.
I
would assume the dad would feel the same way if he never hit her again. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm sure he never really intended to. He just lost his temper at that point.
And I think that's just again a part of the Japanese culture, I guess. You know,
I think that's just part of life. Your parents fuck up.
But you see how like stoic and like disinterested the dad was, and he was like, "All right, dishes, give me food," you know.
That was my dad. Well, my dad was a bit more of an asshole, but he was still like intentionally stoic in places. I think that's just kind of a masculine thing, encouraged in a lot of guys.
Yeah.
Or maybe my dad's a weirdo. Who knows? I've only had the one, so.
For now. We'll see who you call daddy soon.
Nah.
Oh, okay. Never mind. But, you know, and I thought that after the car ride transition, it started leaning more into her adult view, her adult life.
The safflower explanation is so fucking interesting and cool, and I just seeing that. I'm like 13-minute car ride, fucking I sleep. 13-minute safflower montage, real shit.
Tell me more.
Yeah, that hit different.
Seen little weird farming techniques just get montaged into a part where she like also talks about the history of it and how it relates to her worldview. It's fun. It's
and
nice.
It shows her passion for farming that she probably at that point didn't realize she had.
Yeah, this was just a quick little vacation into the countryside, you know?
Yeah. Anything else to say about Only Yesterday? I do like the score. The score is pretty good. It's not exactly amazing by Ghibli standards, but it's still solid.
I didn't notice it too much, which I guess isn't like necessarily a compliment, but it's also not an insult, you know, because it means it at least matched and like blended in very well with what was happening, you know.
I barely ever recognize the score to movies.
There are moments where I
do,
but most of the time not so much. Maybe that's something I should listen for.
I think since like, I don't know, I think it was like since 2019 I've been trying to pay more active attention because of all the details in a film. That's usually the one I miss the most, so I wanted to like begin to understand and appreciate it.
I see. So that's why you bring it up every single time. It all makes sense.
I'm trying to make active note of it.
You know what? I'm proud of you for trying to improve your analytical skills.
Thanks.
Eventually
great. Soon I'll analyze. Oh, another thing. I really like Taiko's smile and laugh. I think.
Oh
she has a very good smile.
It feels so genuine and it feels so real in like a way that I could imagine seeing someone smile, and like it just feels so much more true to life than a lot of other anime smiles, you know.
Anything else for Only Yesterday?
I thought the art for when they're adults was a little too like realistic, like just the fact that they have like huge dimples that are only visible at certain angles.
Yeah,
it was cool. It was cool to see for sure, but it made me feel weird, you know.
Left a tingly spot in my chest I didn't know what to do with.
My body started tingling.
Got the chest tinglies.
I could kind of see that. I think it was going for that more realistic vibe as a whole, as the adult form anyway.
The first time I saw it, it was jarring, but the second time I watched it through, I was all right with it.
That's versus her like flashback sequences, which are much more stylized.
Yeah,
or a little bit more. It's pretty subtle, actually.
I bet
I think that's because like she's more nostalgic for it, so like life seemed more whimsical at that age.
And you can even see like in the flashbacks where she's dreaming of becoming famous, a star, like again the art style changes to becoming even more of like an exaggeration of
Takahata is
style.
really good at that. He knows he's good at switching styles depending on the situation, which I do like.
I also really like the animation during the baseball scenes. Those were really well done. Definitely traced, but great,
Like rotoscoped?
Huh?
Like rotoscoped?
Yeah.
Alright, that's all I got for this movie. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. It's a high tier 6, but some of those scenes drag on too long for me to feel comfortable with a 7.
Okay. Alright.
I'll give that a 6.
It's still positive. I still enjoyed it a lot.
Alright. It's good. It needs more flowers. Just make it a documentary about flowers. That'll be perfect.
All right, and Jay?
I said a 6.
All right. Jason, can you introduce me to Moonlight? I've never heard of this movie nor seen it.
I'm sure that you are a liar, as your father was before you. Moonlight is a 2016, I believe, movie that was released by A24. That follows the story and life of a young black man dealing with and discovering his sexuality and dealing with the way that people treat him because of it. What do you guys think?
I really, really, really enjoy this movie. I think it's a very, very fine piece of film.
Do you think it deserved the awards that it received?
I mean, I preferred Blade Runner over, I think, that entire slate, and I don't think that one was even fucking nominated.
Was Blade Runner the same year?
You're off. It was I was one of the people that preferred La La Land.
Okay.
But I mean, I still think it's a really good movie. So the fact that it got Best Picture is better than a lot of other Best Picture winners that were not good movies. Mm-hmm. So there's that. I really like the way that this one's shot, though. I think the narrow depth of field really makes it unique and
gorgeous.
Oh yeah, it's very nice to look at. Very easy on the eyes. I think it's really well written. I like how all the characters talk very different from each other depending on where they're from. Like his mom has a very distinct dialect as opposed to say Juan or Chiron speak with, or Kevin. It's really well. I think that's really well done. The music choices are really good, and a lot of them, like the operatic or orchestral stuff, is really unique into itself, especially for stuff in an urban ghetto setting.
Yeah, I agree with all of those points. I think that personally, I've seen La La Land and Moonlight now at this point. I saw La La Land a while ago, so maybe for the best comparison, it might be good to rewatch that. But I think Moonlight deserved the best picture overall. If it was between only those two,
just those two,
just specifically those two. Unfortunately, there was no Bionicle movie that year. Maybe next year. But I really enjoyed the depth of field. I really enjoyed the cinematography, and I really enjoyed the way they used that to really convey inside the characters' minds and be able to kind of portray what the character was feeling at any given moment, and use that to get into his head as the shy, unsure youth that wasn't sure how to deal with all of the things that he'd been given in life.
Yeah.
Couple that with the color usage and like the gorgeous framing. Like it was just a beautiful movie to behold and a great story to be able to be here told.
Yeah. Also, Arrival came out that year, so
Arrival did?
yeah, I would definitely say that's a better movie.
I still think this one. I'll
Really?
have to think about it. I'll have to think about it harder. But as my gut reaction was this one.
Did you cry to this movie 3 times?
Huh?
Did you cry to this movie 3 times? Huh?
I can't tell you how many times I've cried to this movie. I don't want that information revealed.
Oh, okay.
We watched it with you. We know the answer.
Yeah, that's true. Fuck, you got me. Fuck.
So Mahershala, for his role as Juan, received an Oscar. I definitely think it was a good performance, and of the year that I saw, I think it was the best. It's just a very surprising choice. I think he's the first ever. Oh wait, never mind. Batman v Superman came out that year. He definitely did not deserve it then.
Wait, who would have been who? Who? Huh?
Jesse Eisenberg, obviously. Did you?
Of course, obviously. The only way it could have been. Honestly, his performance was good in this.
Yeah,
it was very good. I don't know the comparison of what else came out this year, but I personally don't think it is necessarily his best performance either. That he's
actually, I would say Woody Harrelson deserved it more in The Edge of 17, but you guys, I assume
that is a movie I have not seen. Unfortunately,
that's okay.
I'll add it to the list.
I like Juan's character, and I like that he teaches him how to swim. I like that. That's a good piece of imagery because that's usually used as something to oppress black people. Black people can't swim, or when we literally threw them overboard in chains and drowned them. That's not a good thing to do.
No,
that's in fact, that's monstrous. I would argue.
And they reused that imagery as well as kind of, I think, a sign of also freedom, of like floating in the open water, like finally being like a moment of peace almost.
Yeah, it's like a reclamation.
Let's Google it.
Of a previous used tool of oppression, like with the N-word or other things. And I really like that scene with his mom when she's hitting him up for drug money. It's so well. I mean, I like it in the sense that my fucking anxiety shoots through the roof.
It's a good scene, not necessarily
very good
you
scene.
loved like, oh man, my favorite part. I get it.
Well, I think that plus the scene where she just like yells at him, "Don't look at me," are like really the two defining moments that just ruin his relationship with his mom forever, to where he just can't.
See, for me, the scene with his mother, the relationship, or the scene that to me impacts me the most involving his relationship was more so when she was laying on the couch, and he gives her the blanket and she starts stroking his face. And at first he's not sure, and then he's like, you know what, maybe I need this, and she's like, you don't even love me. And so he recoils at the idea of that as well. Oof. At her perception. Like that scene, I think, for their relationship was probably the one that maybe hit me the most, or the one that felt the most,
How do you think Juan died?
Heart disease.
That would be really really good. Just heart attack.
Too many cheeseburgers, dude. He had to get on a diet.
Yeah. I really did like Juan and Teresa's characters as played by Mahershala Ali and Janelle Monáe. They were the most charming drug dealing couple I've ever seen in film.
Teresa was great. Juan was great.
Yeah.
They both had their high points and their low points.
Yeah.
Mostly high comparatively.
Yeah, Teresa only had high points. Juan, it's still that issue where he is a drug dealer.
There's that.
Drug dealing. Well, even ideologically.
And he was drug dealing to his mom, like
he stopped doing
who's she gonna buy it from?
Anyone else.
Yeah.
I personally don't I do not have anything against drug use. However, to be a good drug dealer, you usually kill some motherfuckers.
Well, you usually have to. You do what you need to.
I'm not. My pharmacist doesn't do that. The drugs he peddles, the opiates
here's the thing.
He peddles does kill people, but he doesn't kill them directly.
You've never asked, though. You don't know what your pharmacist does.
I always ask my pharmacist if they're a murderer. Do you not? That's like that's rule 101.
Usually I just ask them if they can help me out. Like, hey man, you got,
You got happy pills.
Yeah, you got the.
You know, not the like anti. I mean the like happy.
Gotta get that. You know. You know who I could talk to.
Yeah.
Usually they just tell me to leave and then call the cops, but you know, sometimes it's a win. Not yet, but soon.
I like Chiron's arc of constantly trying to be open, and every time he does, he immediately gets punished for it, sending him further and further into a shell until eventually he just ends up being a giant, masculine, fucking tough as nails gangster, just as a way to protect himself.
Kind of copying his one and only male role model in his life, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
that's his easiest escape.
Yeah. But that comes to a head with his moment with Kevin, to where he feels like the child again, to where he's weak and vulnerable, but he
that was so sweet.
Time. Very sweet.
It's such a sweet, because the sweet moment where, you know, I guess he's kind of been drinking. Yeah, definitely that part. That part was like, But at when at the end when he's like, you know, you're the only person who's touched me, and then you get to see the I guess the actors kind of flex their acting a little bit there, where the no dialogue, pure facial, you know, response that he gives, followed by just the soft, like, it's okay sort of like comfort that he gives, that he's been needing for so long, you know.
Yeah, I think in that moment that's what Kevin realizes too, that like even though he had a problem with him being a gangster and all that stuff, he just realizes why he had to do it and everything about it. Also, do you think Kevin's gay or bi? Bi? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I would assume. I mean, hey,
he does
his
have
life.
A daughter.
He does.
No,
maybe she was just a beard. Who knows? But that's a pretty.
That's possible too in an environment that seems as homophobic as this one.
It's true, and honestly, like, the Black community also is very resistant to it as well, or more so.
From my
understanding,
Jason is Mexican, so he's the only one that can talk about minority communities.
I get the pass, which maybe I shouldn't, but you know what?
I'm much more willing to have your ass in the fire than mine.
That's fair. But of my understanding, of my possibly more limited understanding, of that, you know, it's possibly less accepting because they do value more so the alpha masculine, like, maintaining dominance, especially in the poorer communities, more so. Like, I'm speaking more so on the poorer, like, you know, disenfranchised minority communities.
Okay. Well, everything I know about, like, homophobia, I get from, like, listening to DMX or 50 Cent. I'm like, Jesus Christ, guys.
Yeah.
So I assume, like, those guys can do it, and nobody, like, really disrespects them to this day, even though with that blatant homophobia, that's very obvious that it's still kind of a problem.
And it is kind of a part of the culture. I don't know. Like,
maybe.
Not to say that it's gone away in any other cultures.
About Black culture. That's dangerous.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe we should edit all of this out. Can we cut all of this? Is that an option?
Fuck Moonlight. It's
okay.
I hate the blacks. Jason hates the gays, so we hated the movie.
All right, perfect. I'm glad we summed up our points so concisely. Jay, what did you think?
I don't know. I've been having it on during this podcast, trying to get a rewatch of it, and there's just, I don't know, nothing that's really captured me. I don't really find it particularly engaging. I can tell it's, like, really artful. It's very visually pleasing, very audially pleasing, but I feel like
engaging.
A lot of the plot points are very, like, on the nose. I don't know.
That's just kind of the environment.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean by
fair,
that?
But,
like, what specific plot points do you mean by that?
His mom, for the most part. That's, like, the big thing. Like, every scene with her is, I feel like, the same.
Have you ever spoken to a crackhead?
I guess not.
I have.
I mean,
maybe not a crackhead. I've definitely seen some people that were clearly on something with fucked up as hell teeth. Yeah.
Well, because you also get to see her, you know, redemption later on, at least, you know.
Not necessarily redemption, but you can tell that she is in a better place.
Yeah, because like again, when you're that addicted to that addictive of a drug, that's the only thing you can think of, and everything else becomes secondary.
Yeah, even your child,
especially your child. He's just something that you need to use to get money, dude.
Yeah,
but I guess I could see that as a kind of maybe on the nose sort of thing, but
I just kind of think it's the environment. I like having the character call somebody else a faggot's on the nose, but that's because the issue is that it's just showing. It's putting a moonlight on the issue.
Roll credits.
All right, we're done, and that's the end of our show.
That's the end of PAPAO. Never coming back. See ya.
I don't know.
To show the problem as it exists in reality. Or I assume maybe this fucking movie's racist as shit and actually doesn't portray it accurately. I don't know. Personally, my exposure to stuff like this is through documentaries, talking to other people, and watching films like this. So
my exposure is far more limited than it should be to be able to talk about these issues as a direct way as I have been. So I apologize. I'm just gonna do that right now.
Oh, and through gangster rap.
And also especially gangster rap. Mostly DMX.
Yeah. Really?
No.
Okay.
Da, da, da. Oh.
I think that would have thrown it into too cheesy if he was listening to DMX on the fucking car ride. Oh, oh.
Honestly, the song choice that he was listening to was great. Anyway.
Oh yeah, they were fucking great songs. And really appropriate for it. Especially while listening to gangster rap.
I don't know. Like he walks into the restaurant with like gold necklaces, grills, he's super beefy, and it's like I don't know.
He's a gangster, bro.
Yeah, that's actually how they dress. Like Barry Jenkins grew up in like shit like that. This dude knows what's there.
Yeah,
they do sometimes. It's I think kind of fallen out of favor a little bit more recently.
Dude, I know a guy at work that still wears a fucking chain. Granted, he's Mexican, but still.
But that's why I'm saying it's falling out of favor, you know?
Yeah. It's still bling. Like,
it's
a status symbol.
Exactly. And it's something that especially in the poorer communities, they need is like something to show that they kind of rise above what they're in, if that makes sense. Yeah. That's why a lot of people drive, you know, Mustangs and Camaros while they're...
And then it's seen as a poor person thing to do for a year, and then white people co-opt it and say it's the new fashionable thing after constantly ragging on the black community for using it.
And that's just kind of the cycle. That's the cycle.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the way things go. Think about jazz. Think about
rap.
If
there's anything to take away from Moonlight, it's that fuck white people. Am I right?
Nice, dude.
Every last one of them. Even people that are half white.
Hey, oh, yeah.
Are there any white characters in this movie?
No. Thank God. You know?
I can't think of any. There's no prominent.
There were like two or three people in the background, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I think most of the people in the background, like even at the school, I don't know if they had many white people. Which is again another show of like how things kind of are. Is it? I mean, it's the thing is it's not uncommon.
America, yeah, our Hollywood fucking shit's filled with white people.
Oh, and Hollywood, yeah. I'm saying in reality that there's a lot of times.
I mean, I assume it's a black community.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like even though people think segregation has been abolished, not really.
It's not.
It's definitely still there. It's just not overt.
Addressed.
You know. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not addressed. It's not overt. It's something that isn't, you know, solved. It's just ever present, you know.
It's a really good movie. I will probably revisit this many times throughout the years. Only as double features with La La Land, though.
Oh.
Which
that's a weird double feature.
I think La La Land's a better made movie, if I'm being real. We can have this conversation later when someone...
I'll have to watch La La Land. Yeah, that's the thing, is I have to rewatch La La Land. I watched it with my sister in a theater, and I've only seen it once.
I watched it on a date, and I was blown away by it, and the girl I was on a date with was like, what the fuck is... I don't get any of this, and I was like...
Wait, what?
This is going to be a roughin'.
How does she not get it? I don't get it. Like, I don't get how she doesn't get it. It seems very clear.
No, like, she didn't like that they didn't end up together at the end. She was
Oh.
very much. I only watch Star Wars, Disney movies, and MCU movies. Yeah.
Okay. There's sad. All of those movies have those movies that don't end well, though. You know.
But that's a lot more understandable, and usually it's fixed by the next movie.
La La Land 2, dude. Just you wait. Just you wait, dude. Another Academy Award. This time it's gonna win.
Yeah. We done with Moonlight?
I guess so. I don't know what to say about it. Nothing grabbed me. I feel bad about it, but like,
I mean, hey, it's
Jay hates
just
black
another
people.
movie you
Right
watch.
here
Ooh.
yeah,
Ooh.
I guess that's what that means.
Wait, didn't we already have that established?
No,
Or
that was you that hated black people.
Oh no, I meant like in earlier episodes other than this one.
Wait,
Who did we single out as
What's
racist when we're talking about Looney Tunes?
I'm still
I
pretty
think
sure
it was Jason.
you.
I assume it was
Was it-
Jason.
What does
Jason
that
said-
mean? You
I think
assume
all-
it was me.
I remember Jason
I-
saying something real bad.
Dude, I
all
always
of
say
us-
something real bad.
I think all
Yeah.
of us have had this buck passed on to us at one point or another.
If anyone has to take the racist monument, I guess I'll have to carry that cross on my back. I'm okay with that.
Such a burden to be racist.
I know, such a
So
burden.
hard.
I'll be the one.
Okay.
It's so hard. I'm the best at hating ethnicities.
I don't know. I felt like it was pretty slow. There wasn't a ton that happened. I don't know. It's hard to pick out specific moments except for like a handful.
See, I think it may have been a little bit slower, but in the same way as any sort of like
Wait, you're going through all
more
three,
character
three
focused.
important stages of his life.
Well, because I
Yeah.
think even only yesterday was a little bit slow, but
Oh,
Even the slow
I think that was
moments.
slower.
I think even though the slow moments kind of helped with just the development, though, you know, like the slowness gave it time to gestate.
I feel
Yeah.
like the back and forth was interesting too. Like,
In only yesterday.
yeah,
You have to be
So-
organized to be organic.
I did. Oh yeah, the farmers were fucking weird in that too. Like I wasn't sure how I felt about how like they were like hippie farmers. Like
Yeah.
maybe that's just what all farmers are. That's a community I definitely know zero about.
Japanese farmers.
Yeah. Black
Everything
communities
I know about
probably
them is
like
from
1%.
Misao Takahata. So
Gotcha.
that guy seems to
Don't-
fetishize them. Stop fetishizing Japanese farmers.
I
Farmers
don't.
only, dude. I don't know.
We done with Moonlight?
Are we done with only yesterday? I don't know.
Yeah,
Alright,
I think we're done.
I'm gonna give Moonlight an 8. Very solid 8. Very good movie.
I'll give it a 6. I think
All right.
It
that's
gets the
about the
light
same
of the
as
moon.
only yesterday. I think.
And Bluebird.
It gets the light of the moon. That's what it gets.
All right.
That's what it deserves, and that's what it needs. All right.
All right. Which means, do you guys know what time it is?
Time to spin the wheel.
Yeah, hang on. Give me a sec.
What?
Let me join this real quick.
Well, yeah.
I'm gonna vote
Okay,
Taylor.
hold
I
on, I
actually
got
really
three
like Taylor
options
Princess
left.
Kaguya. I have not seen Nausicaa, so I'm okay with both of those.
And
I have
when
no
Marty
idea
was
about
there,
the other
he's
one.
Gay as fuck. So.
Oh, so
Two
maybe
out of
that's
three
actually
of
the one I
these
should.
are movies I haven't seen yet. So
Which are the two?
Kaguya and
Oh.
Marnie.
Well, I guess we got the one you have
Valley
seen.
of Wind.
The only
Okay.
one you've seen.
The one of the Ghibli movies that's not technically a Ghibli movie, but it is lumped in with all the Ghibli movies every time.
Well, it's by Ghibli before they were Ghibli.
It's by Hayao
It's-
Miyazaki. I
Yeah.
know, I'm not dissing that, but it is technically not a Ghibli movie if we want
Well,
to get like,
technically.
trivial about it.
You're the train
It's
boy on
Pretty
that
much
that
like
movie.
the prequel to Ghibli though, really. Like
Yes, it's
Miyazaki.
Miyazaki's first original feature. It's
Mhm.
it's again, I think Ghibli has the rights to it and all that. So for all intents and purposes, it's a Ghibli movie, but technically, it's not a Ghibli.
Well, without this movie, there would be no other Ghibli movies.
Oh yeah,
So-
no. Again, I'm not dissing that. I'm saying, like, as a fun fact, it's not technically a Ghibli movie.
yeah. Of course.
And Now it's time for recommendations from me. First, for the film recommendation, I'm going to recommend the 1990 documentary directed by Jenny Livingston, focusing on the trans ballroom community, called Paris is Burning. It is a landmark of LGBT cinema, and it should be a fun watch.
Cool. I look forward to it.
And my short is The Curse of the Monkeybird, which is one of the new shorts recently released on the HBO Max.
The Monkeybird?
The Curse of the Monkeybird.
Is that hyphenated?
No.
How many hyphens? Count the hyphens, please.
Okay, 0.
Okay, cool.
And I think that's it for our show. Thank you for coming to the show. That's our show.
Jason?
Thank you for coming to the show. It's been a long one, but now we gotta go.
See you later, ho.